Welcome everyone into Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me on Twitter at HannMears. You can also like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and you can get my Mearsy Minutes on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you're following us everywhere. Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Also, don't forget, for an advantage, don't forget to go to nohouseadvantage.com. And No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Sign up now with promo code PNP. It's right in the description at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the App Store to get a first deposit match up to $50. That's nohouseadvantage.com. Now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of what we do here. It's sports betting. We've got a lot of guests today on the Power Hour, and I'm first going to bring in the boss man, Craig Trapp. He's going to be talking about ECU at Cincinnati. But first, there's something we have to remind everyone to do. If you text your full name to the number listed below, 614-810-7522, you can receive 2 free picks. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's pretty simple. If I'm someone who likes a sports bet, I'm doing that, and I'm getting my free picks every week. Now, East Carolina University, I know we have some fans here at Picks and Parlays of ECU. They're not favored in this matchup, but the Pirates are bull-bound. This line actually opened up, I think, around like 10.5, so it moved quite a bit. So for that reason, why do you think that is, and who do you think is going to win in this matchup?
Well, I think
we know who the Earl brothers think is going to win.
The Earl brothers, if you guys don't know, ECU alums or current, and so let's just say, and I'm at Cincinnati through and through. So it's one of those, I'm not taking a side. I'm just going to be official. I do think Cincinnati wins. I do think it's close, but I think you have to look at when you're playing alma maters or teams that you grew up watching, you have to take it with a grain of salt. So I usually try to stay away from the sides. I think it's going to be a good defensive matchup. I think both teams will struggle to get above 24, 25 points. So to me, that under a 52.5 seems very easy. Let's remember this ECU team went to BYU, a very good BYU offense, and held them down in that one and won outright on the road. So I think if it's a shootout, I think Cincinnati wins. If it's a close game, I think ECU has a chance. I think Cincinnati's defense is better than, not as good as last year, but it's better than what even when their numbers suggest. I like the under 52.5 in this one.
Yeah, and Cincinnati's pass defense matches up against one of ECU's strength in their passing game. So I think this one could keep it close, like you were saying, and the under is a good bet. Thank you, Craig, as always, for your college football expertise. I think you were playing it safe there as well, so the Earl brothers aren't mad, depending on who you would take.
Hey, I'm not worried about the Earl brothers. I'll tell you that much. But I do say, like I said, when you're playing with your heart a little bit, you somewhat can cloud your judgment. So sometimes you need to take that out of the equation. That's what we're doing on this one.
Definitely, yeah. Trying to stay away from the Steelers here and there because it's been a little heartbreaking so far.
Yeah, and Penn State for you. Penn State and the Steelers are your teams you got to stay away from.
Exactly, right? Although my Steelers I bet against the Steelers last weekend. It was right, so it's fine.
When you're betting against them, that sometimes can.
Well, I picked the prop bet, but so for the Eagles of the team total. So I was trying to stay away, but I had a feeling that was going to happen. Regardless, Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. You don't want to miss a single second of what we've got going on. Craig, your cup also looks like it had some holes there, but that's what we do here on Picks and Parlays Power Hour. Now, Craig, we need to talk some NFL rapid fire. 5 games in 5-ish minutes. But first, let's not forget, everyone, to get 2 free picks on a weekly basis. All you have to do is text your full name to the number listed below, 614-810-7522. It's so easy. It almost seems like there should be a scam, but we're not here to scam anybody. You just receive your 2 free picks.
Free.
It's really easy to do. It's so fun. It's free. Free. Everybody likes free stuff, and you don't get a lot of it in this world. So go ahead and do that right below. Now we've got some NFL rapid fire. The Seattle Seahawks at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers favored at -3. Tom Brady looked a little bit like Tom Brady on that final drive last week. The total at this game, 50.5. But are Brady and the Bucs actually back against Geno Smith and his Seahawks?
Well, let's be clear. This isn't at the Bucs. This is in Germany. So Lenny screwed up. This is that 9:30. I think it's
Weird
9:30
unit game. Yeah.
And So it's not at the Bucs. So you're getting 3. You say as a home favorite, you get 3 points. So really, if this was at Tampa, they were saying that Tampa Bay would be favored by 6. I would be all over Seattle if it was 6, to be very honest.
Yeah.
But I think you have to look at Tampa Bay and you have to say they're going to get better on offense. They have to. They're terrible on the offensive line, but their running game hasn't been what we expected. But the one thing this team can rely on, Hannah, is their defense. And that defense, I think, will turn over Geno Smith. He really hasn't had a ton of turnovers this year, which is really what set him back early when he was with the Jets, remember. Let's take Tampa Bay. I think they get the turnovers this week. Tampa Bay -3. I'm not going crazy on this game just because Seattle has been so good against the spread.
Yeah.
And they've won me so much money. So sometimes you just don't want to jump off those teams that have been so good for you.
Seattle's like that secret team this year that's just been good. And it's been hard to go against them in situations because they're astonishing to everybody at this point. No one would have guessed this. But all right, Craig likes the Bucs at -3 over in Germany. Let's see your next game. Vikings at Bills. Bills without Josh Allen, favored at -4.5, total at 45. I'm interested to see if any of these lines shift closer to game time. But right now, where this is in a Vikings team that's been pretty solid this season, what do you like?
Well, I'm not 100% sure that Josh Allen's going to be out. Have you seen that? I haven't.
I've seen it. So I did see a couple tweets that are like alluding to it, but I don't think anyone said it.
I think it's 50-50 if he plays or not. I think if he's not playing, if they announce he's not playing,
day to day.
There you go. Then I think it'll drop 3 points. I think the Bills will be favored by 1.5 to 1. But I like the Vikings either way. I just think this is a Bills team that will win if Josh Allen plays, in my opinion. But I think it's going to be extremely close. I think this Bills their problem not being able to run the ball, where you got to use Josh Allen to run the ball effectively, I think is a bad solution going forward. Just asking for troubles, even if his elbow is good enough to play in this one. This is a Minnesota team that, if they just avoid turnovers, if Kirk Cousins just avoids turnovers, and it's not a primetime game because Kirk Cousins at primetime is terrible. But when he avoids turnovers, this team is good on defense. They can run the ball. They can pass the ball. They can do a little bit of everything. I think they're actually the more well-rounded team, even though maybe Buffalo has a higher upside. Let's take the Vikings here plus 4.5. If this does go down to +1 without Josh Allen, I'm still taking the Vikings at that number as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet as well. I kind of like the Vikings in this one. I like what they've got going on. I like the word you used, well-rounded. I think that's what their strength has been so far this season. All right, the next game.
What did Kirk Cousins do? Look.
Yeah, he's got the chains going on. He's got the dance moves. There's a certain swagger, and the guys are rallying around that. And there's some young guys on the team that.
And he beat his former team. That was, I'm sure meant a lot for him that he beat a team that wouldn't give him the big contract. So
yeah, there's some really funny memes going around about him right now. So I suggest after Picks and Parlays Power Hour and after doing all of our promos, head over to Twitter and just search Kirk Cousins. All right, Saints favored -2.5 in Pittsburgh. My Pittsburgh Steelers now. I don't know how I feel about this one. The total at 40.5 as well, but I kind of like the Steelers in this matchup. I know that's like crazy to say, and I'm not even playing that with my heart, but just looking at these two teams. And I mean, it's not like the Saints have been overperforming at all. So I think the Steelers defense with potentially TJ Watt being back could be a factor. What do you think?
TJ Watt or no TJ Watt, this is a team that's backed up against the wall, against a Saints team that hasn't been good against AFC North. Bengals beat them pretty good. Ravens short week too. Give me the Steelers plus 2.5. And this was not a difficult pick. I think the Steelers went out right. I'll probably sprinkle a little on the money line as I think the Steelers went out right. I just, believe me, Andy Dalton, I'm very familiar with Andy Dalton. He was a Bengal for a long time, and I'm a lifelong Bengal fan. So he's a guy that is good enough to win games, but not to win the big games. We saw that time and time again. This is a big game for them because if you look at it, I mean, they're right there at the top of their division. They got to get this win. You can't lose the Steelers, but they do this weekend.
Yeah, they haven't been great against the AFC North, and coming into Pittsburgh against a team, like you said, they're desperate for a win, and they had a bye week first off to make a lot of changes and get things going. And Mike Tomlin was alluding that there are some changes being made, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And I think that needed to happen to build morale as well with this team.
And then even if the Saints go back to Winston, that's no bonus. He's a turnover machine. So I like the Steelers, like you said. Coming off a bye, I think it's a good spot for the Steelers.
All right, some other teams looking for more wins. The Cardinals at the Rams. Rams favored at -3. Interesting. The total at 43.5. So tell me, what about this matchup intrigues you?
Rams are terrible. Rams are terrible. They're not good. I mean, they dominated the whole game against Tampa Bay. They need one stop. They can't get it. I mean, this team, their offensive line's bad. The defense that we've always known they could rely on, they really have not been able to rely on because they're on the field so much. Give me the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have more upside. I know the Rams have owned them, but at some point, you have to beat good teams, and the Rams can't beat even average teams right now. Give me the Cardinals +3.
And if you have a struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense come back on you, what do you think Kyler Murray is going to do? He's like a comeback machine.
Hopkins is back.
Oh. Yeah. So there's a lot to that one. So Cardinals +3 in that one. And then last but not least, Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my, Bears favored at -3. Total 48.5. Justin Fields has been using his legs like a machine. He finally looks like he's sort of figured out who he is now. Marquee match of the year. And
that's Detroit Lennon.
He was lacking a lot of confidence earlier this season, saying he wasn't comfortable at one point. He wasn't sure who he was. And now I think he's finally identifying of himself, knowing he has to use his legs more. This Lions team can put up points. So what do you like?
Over. Lions team that loves to pass the ball around, sprinkle in the run. I mean, they are really good on offense. Last week, I thought they played good enough to win. They were like, hey, we're not going to – if we just don't turn the ball over, we're going to beat Green Bay. And that's what they did. You're not going to be able to play like that. This Bears offense is hitting on all cylinders. They're going to have to score. I think the Bears – I think it's 3 straight overs for the Bears. I think it goes 4 straight. Give me the over 48.5 and what we call the Detroit Lenny versus the Bears Bowl.
Detroit Lenny versus the Bears. I love it. I hope it is a high-scoring affair if that's the case, and I hope it keeps it close. So we'll see. I think that one will be fun. Thank you, Craig, so much for joining me today. That is our 5 NFL games in 5-ish minutes. NFL Rapid Fire. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our content, especially Picks and Parlays Power Hour being live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It'd be great if I could talk today. Thanks so much, Craig. All right, we are live. Wow, listen to this today. This is great. All kinds of speech problems, but we are live. Picks and Parlays Power Hour, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Hannah Mears, and now it's time to bring in our next guest. We've got Cam. We've got Tulsa at Memphis to talk about some college ball. This is a Thursday game. Memphis favored at -6.5. The total at 61.5. A lot of money is on Memphis covering right now, and this could serve as a bowl elimination game. So, Cam, tell me what you're thinking about this matchup.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Memphis started the season 4-1. They've lost 4 in a row. Tulsa's lost 4 of their last 5. Both teams come in on terrible skids. Memphis has a lot on the line here as they're sitting at 4 wins. They still have SMU ahead of them later in the season. I think this is one of those games that Memphis must have if they're going to keep their bowl hopes alive. Memphis is better on both sides of the ball. They're going to be in front of the home fans. This one means a lot to Memphis. I just think Memphis will get back to what they were when they were 4-1 once upon a time and keep their bowl season alive as they have to win 2 out of the last 3 to make it into bowl season. And I think they're going to have to get this one. So I'm going to take Memphis to cover the touchdown number over a pretty lackluster Tulsa team.
All right, Memphis at -6.5. I think that's a good bet too. Seems like a lot of the public agrees with you, so may scare you, may not, but Memphis in this one. Thank you so much, Cam, for that. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour. It's live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss a single second of it. All right, Cam, we've got another college game. Georgia at Mississippi State. Everyone's going to be tuned into this on Saturday. Everyone wanted to see what Georgia was going to do to Tennessee, and the Bulldogs proved to be the top dogs. Still favored at -16.5 in this one. Total at 53.5. I think this line moved a little bit as well. It was a little bit higher, but Mississippi State is going to have to pass the ball potentially to win. So can they do that, or can they at least keep it close?
No. The answer is no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to just come straight out of the gate. I am from Georgia. I'm in Atlanta. This isn't even being partial. Georgia has proven they are by far the number 1 team in the nation. They got bumped to number 3 last week because everybody was on the Tennessee train, and Georgia handled that game. That score wasn't even completely evident of what the game was. The score was much closer than the game actually was. Georgia's averaging 40 points a game, nearly 41. They're giving up only 10. Mississippi State is averaging 32, but they're not going to score the ball. They're not going to move the ball. Georgia Georgia did what they were supposed to do last week, but I think Georgia is still upset that they were dropped for no reason, and they proved a point. I think Georgia's going to keep rolling. Mississippi State's not going to have enough. The passing, they can pass it all they want. It's not going to matter. I think Georgia's going to continue to roll as they stay undefeated with another blowout SEC win as they continue their quest for another title.
All right, the Georgia Bulldogs are going to keep on keeping on. Favorite at -16.5. That's Cam's pick. Hey, Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. And Cam, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. We are live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's time to bring in my next guest, Dan the Man. We're here to talk some college football on Friday. Colorado at USC. USC favored by a large margin at -34. The total at 66. Colorado allows about 40 points per game. But can this one go over that? Or are you looking at potentially USC taking advantage of that and covering?
Yeah, Hannah. You can't get probably more opposite teams coming into this one. Colorado, 1-8, as you said, they give up 40 points a game, but they don't score. They score just under 16 points a game, and on the road, they've only gone over 10 points just once in 4 road games. You got this Trojan team. The only thing they do have in common is probably their defenses, because the USC's defense isn't as bad as Colorado's, but it's not very good either. They give up 25 points a game. But I think I look at this one, what happened last weekend in college football with the upsets gives this game for USC a little more meaning, because I have a chance now, to win out and beat now what people are considered a good Notre Dame team, and they can make a case for the college football playoffs if they win out. And Caleb Williams here, he's putting himself in a shot for the Heisman, and if he has 3 really big games, he has a chance of outside chance of stealing that, because Bryce Young hasn't played well in a couple of games, and there's not really any other big favorites out there. So I like this USC team, and this is a chance for their defense to get right. I know it's 34 points is a lot, but with Colorado not scoring, and they didn't cover last week as like a 32-point favorite against Oregon, or 32-point underdog against Oregon. I think USC can put up as many points as Oregon. I'm gonna lay the points. I know it's a big number, but I'm laying them. I just don't think Colorado is very good.
They can't hang. They can't hang with the Trojans. Trojans going in a big way at -34. That is Dan's picks. Hey, Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so that you don't miss a single minute of what we've got going on here. All right, Dan, we've got some NFL to talk as well. Russell Wilson and the Broncos at the Tennessee Titans. Titans favored at -3, the total at 39. Can the Broncos stop Derrick Henry?
Well, they're going to have to. I mean, because the Titans, I mean, you look, Malik Willis, in 2 games has completed 11 passes, and I think they're throwing for like 150 yards combined. So they're not going to, they don't allow him to throw the ball. They don't want him to throw the ball. So all you see is Derrick Henry, and the Broncos are going to have to stop it. And even if they do, how can you almost say that, Tennessee with Malik Wilson almost might have an advantage at quarterback the way Russ has been playing this year. I mean, this Broncos team, they traded away Bradley Chubb, so that takes away from their defense. This Broncos team is bad. They may be losing. I mean, their coach is on the hot seat. I just don't know how this Broncos team can get up for this game. And the Titans are doing Titans things. They just roll around. They just keep rolling and rolling and rolling, running the ball and piling up wins. And so at this such a short number and being at home, the Titans will find a way to pull this one out. So I'm laying the points with the Titans.
And even if you go in and know that the game plan for the Titans is Derrick Henry, he is still hard to stop. So the Denver Broncos can prepare all they want, but he's still going to make something happen. Titans -3 is Dan's picks. Hey, Picks and Parlays Power Hour. We are live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. And thank you so much, Dan, for joining me.
Thank you.
Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications, you won't miss a single minute of what we've got going on, including talking to my next guest, Nick Earl. Hello, Nick. We've got some college ball to talk. We've got some Friday games. I like these early college games we're talking about this week. Fresno State favored at -9.5 at UNLV. Total at 60.5. Fresno State has been a throw-first team, 79% completion rate, and UNLV has allowed a lot of explosive plays, but do have a decent amount of interceptions. So who do you think fares better in this matchup?
Yeah, when I capped this game, I had this game more like around that 6 number rather than a 9.5. So getting almost double digits in this game and up above the touchdown, I'm interested in the UNLV Rebels here in this game plus the points. When we look at what UNLV has done recently, they've covered back-to-back weeks. They've looked a little bit better. They covered as 5-point dogs and 26-point dogs. So this is a team that generally you want to back getting points rather than laying points. Fresno State has been much better since the last few weeks as well, though. They've covered in 3 of their last 4 games. But my power rankings and my numbers suggest that this is just a few too many points for the Bulldogs to be laying here on the road. So I'm taking the Rebels here plus the points at home.
All right, be a Rebel and take the Rebels as the dogs as well with Nick. Thank you so much for your pick. Remember, Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. So like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute. Now, Nick, it is time to talk some NFL. Sunday, Chargers at 49ers. The Niners favored at -7, total at 45.5. The Niners run the ball with Christian McCaffrey now. They've got him kind of in the system. And the Chargers have been very poor in their run defense. But will that stop you from siding with them? Are you confident in what the 49ers have now that they have McCaffrey? Where are you leaning in this?
Yeah, this is, I believe, the Sunday night game. So I do like the under a little bit in this game, but I'm actually going to look at the side for this one here. And one thing I noticed is this is one of the largest discrepancies I've seen in my lines compared to what the books had, because I thought this was going to be more like 3 and a hook rather than a full touchdown here. And I see value with the Chargers. And one thing we've seen a lot is these primetime dogs when are oftentimes not only cover, but they can win these games outright. And we've seen that plenty of times here. So I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to say the Chargers win this game outright, taking the money line here, a nice little plus 240 price tag. You can obviously lay the points. I'm going to be laying the point or taking the points as well. I just think a touchdown is way too much, which I believe creates a nice little value here with the money line. So I'm going to take a shot here with the LA Chargers straight up here, plus 240.
Yeah, I think that a touchdown is a lot for this game too. I don't know where that's coming from, whether that's just because of the threat of what the Niners have right now, getting McCaffrey and how good that's looked essentially, but we'll see. All right, he likes the money line though. He's going to take him straight up. That would be a pretty nice cash out. So he's taking the Chargers on the money line. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We're live. Picks and Parlays Power Hour, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, Nick, I know it's your favorite time of the week now. Thursday night football props. We've got Falcons at Panthers, and we want your 3 best prop bets. So Lenny, bring him in. Let's see what he's got rolling here. Marcus Mariota, 2 prop bets for him, and a Drake London. So explain yourself here, sir. What do you got?
Yeah, for starters, it's really difficult for me to come up with props when I like the under in this game, especially because it's prime time. It's a divisional game. Both those are heavy under trends so far this season, and I do like Carolina in this game. So I'm gonna look at the Atlanta side here for some under props, which sound weird, but when we look at it here, Marcus Mariota under 166.5 passing yards. When we look at what he's done, he's only had 2 weeks in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that he's actually hit this number. He's been chilling in like the low the 120s to 140s range for passing yards. So some games, other than the crazy game between these two teams the last time we saw them, which this is a little bit of a recency bias as well, when everybody saw these two teams go off for, I think it was close to 70 points that game. I think there's going to be an under game. And I think that they're going to be able to slow down Mariota through the air here. And I'm going to take a shot here, big plus money, hoping that if the Falcons do score touchdowns in this game, it's going to be on the ground. Because if I'm fading Mariota passing, I'm going to fade him throwing a touchdown pass as well. You're getting a nice little plus 185 price tag for that. So I'm going to take a shot with that there. And then the last one here that I came up with was Drake London under his receptions. He's only had over this 3.5 once the last 4 weeks, and that was in that Panthers game as well, which those numbers were ridiculous in the last game they played. So I'm going to take a shot here with another under here, under 3.5 receptions for Drake London.
Yeah, I looked at Drake London too for my Mearsy Minute for props that I liked, and I didn't end up taking it, but I was leaning toward the under with him as well because his stats were alluding to that, especially with Patterson being back. I like the Mariota one under the passing touchdowns. I think they're going to have the ball on the ground, so that's sort of where I was leaning in this as well. Thank you so much, Nick, for your Thursday night football props. Everyone loves to throw those on parlays, so we appreciate your expertise and research in doing that. Now, everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. As always, we are live, Picks and Parlays Power Hour, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and you don't want to miss a single minute of what we've got going on. Thank you so much for tuning in today.